What's up, you guys? It's your girl, Becca Apple Soup, and I'm back at it again with another episode of Apple Soup. And today we're going to be talking about a triggering topic. So, just a trigger warning for anyone that has suffered violence or abuse in, those types of relationships. We are going to be talking about the singer David and if he did it or if he didn't do it. So, I personally think he did it. What do you guys think? Let's get into it. The singer David, I just recently learned about David through YouTube. I was just kind of just watching this story unfold. And if you guys don't know, here's just a quick little backstory on the singer David and all the controversy that's been going on with the recent allegations and, the 14-year-old girl that's been found unalive in his front of his Tesla. So I'm going to let this creator break it down for you guys and then we'll discuss it.
The singer David just hired the same attorney Harvey Weinstein hired when he was accused of 11 counts of rape. Yes, Blake Blair is now representing the singer David in his defense against possibly 2 gross misdemeanors. The first misdemeanor would be concealment of a dead body, and the second misdemeanor could possibly be statutory rape, dating an underage girl. Both of these can carry a sentence of less than a year and fines just a little bit over $1,000. It's not fair. We all know in our heart of hearts that Celeste Rivas Hernandez was intentionally unalived. She was murdered. Why? Because her remains were put into a garbage bag and in the frunk of David's Tesla. Now, the frunk of a Tesla cannot fit a 5'2", 120-pound girl, so she had to be very badly decomposed. There are mixed reports saying that she was dismembered or she's just badly decomposed. We don't know if she was dismembered, but that's besides the point. Something happened to her, and we don't have a cause of death yet. As the LAPD mentioned on Monday when they made the statement, they're waiting on the toxicology reports. Toxicology reports, that means that they think that she died of a drug or substance overdose. Even if she did, if you're with your friend, say you were with Celeste, and she's unconscious from ODing on a drug, what do? You call the police, you call the ambulance to transport her to the hospital to possibly save her life. You don't put her in a garbage bag, let her decompose, and then put her in the frunk of a Tesla. You don't do that. This is not adding up at all. 1 + 1 is not 4, it's 2. There is major information missing. Even if she did OD, why conceal her body? Why do that? And I don't think she OD'd. I think that possibly, allegedly, maybe in a mythical world, the record label is paying off the police. They're creating a narrative to give David the less possible sentence, the less possible jail time, the less possible fines, which is absolutely ridiculous. Of course, I would demand a second autopsy, but her family doesn't care enough about her to do that, and they probably don't have the resources. But they did start a GoFundMe, and they did raise money that way. So I'm sure they could raise money for a second autopsy if they really wanted to know what went on and what happened to their beloved Celeste Rivas Hernandez. You guys, this is getting heated. I don't like how it's going down. I think that somebody needs to be charged with unaliving her, because in my heart of hearts, again, that's what I think what happened. That's what I think what happened, period. And the LAPD is basically going to chalk it up as she died of an overdose. They concealed her body, and they're going to be making misdemeanor charges on that and that alone, which gives them a break. They don't have to do any other digging to try to find the unaliver, the murderer.
So that's just the details of what the recent events have been going on with David. Just my thoughts personally, I think it's kind of weird how the police didn't immediately arrest him right away. I think it's really weird how they haven't immediately gone to consider him a suspect. I mean, the fact that he's not even being ruled as a suspect, and they're saying that they're not even sure if it's a homicide or not. I just find the whole thing really weird. And this just could be allegedly, but I do know that David does have a lot of money. He does have a lot of power in that industry. And, I've heard thoughts of like she could have possibly been his secret sacrifice. I heard lots of rumors of how he's, getting things covered up behind the scenes because he has money. I mean, these are just rumors, like I said, and I don't think anyone's above the law. But it's just been really weird how he's been moving ever since, the whole situation has happened. And then like all of the weird things that he was doing before when we didn't know that she passed. And now that all the things that people have been finding on TikTok, it's just really weird. And it just gives me the really creepy vibes. I mean, just him wearing her old clothes, wearing her old accessories, doing things that she used to do, just stealing her little, Hello Kitty shoes and just really weird things that just personally give me the ick. Here's just one example of some of the weird stuff that he was doing after she went missing.
Stay high, oh Celeste, the girl with my name tattooed on her chest. Smell her on my clothes like cigarettes.
We have now got confirmation that D4 was wearing Celeste pants during the making of this video.
This is not a joke. Disturbing photos have just surfaced of the singer David wearing matching clothes and wigs with the 15-year-old girl that was found dead in the back of his car, Celeste Riveras. A few moments ago, the internet just got a bombshell of information regarding David and the 15-year-old girl that was found dead in LA, Celeste Riveras, with photos now surfacing of David wearing matching wigs as Celeste. As you can see from this photo that David posted to his Instagram not too long ago, he looked to have been at some sort of Comic-Con event where he looks to be wearing a blue wig. And now this is also a photo that has just surfaced of Celeste Riveras that looks to be when she was around 11 years old, where she is wearing that exact same wig that's blue and that was on David's head. Now, as of right now, none of this stuff is confirmed as to if that's the same wig that David is wearing, but from everything that's coming out, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this is the case. And if this is truly disgusting, because Celeste looks to be about 10 or 11 in that photo. Nonetheless, so what do you guys think about my entire situation? A very weird photo has just surfaced of David and Celeste Riveras online. What do you guys think about this? Is David innocent or guilty? Let me know.
So I think wearing the blue wig, that's just creepy. I don't know why you couldn't just go get your own wig. I don't understand why you had to wear the exact same wig as her. But it's just a lot of weird things, like even just him taking her Hello Kitty shoes that I just find more like, as someone that would do something to someone and knows that they've kind of gotten away with it. I personally look at it as him collecting trophies of what he's done. And it's like kind of like playing in our faces, because it's like the evidence to me kind of clearly points towards him as like the main suspect. I mean, even just finding her in the front of his car, and she was apparently decomposing for weeks. So it just does not make any sense to me. But here's some more information about the case from other TikTokers and from some other people that also have some more views and thoughts and sentiments on this as well. And so let's watch together, and then we'll come back and we'll discuss it.
We got a new update on David, and a lot of y'all are gonna be pissed. First, his alibi that he was on tour is not about to work anymore. Neighbors of the property were saying that Tesla was there for weeks unmoved, untouched. That body was decomposing in there for weeks on end. But this is what fucks me up and makes me think that he has the money to be covering shit up. We got a new article from Rolling Stone explaining why there's been such a lack of detail and evidence that's been exposed to the media, and it just does not add up. Law enforcement is trying to say that homicide is only a speculation, that she could have OD'd, that she could have just died in some other way and then the body was moved and hidden and that part was a crime, which, given the evidence that I'm about to continue to explain, is not logical to assume is not a homicide. So boom, Celeste's mom says she has a boyfriend named David. Boom, mic fucking drop. Boom again. The Tesla was parked a block and a half away from David's residence at the time, which was a rental, yes, but that was the last place he was, and that was the last place his Tesla was. So for everyone who's saying his car got stolen prior to the murder, if you were a carjacker, put yourself in their shoes for a sec. Would you park right up the street and live right up the street from the person whose car you're stealing? So his car was not stolen. I'm not buying that shit at all. He had the car. It was registered to him when her body was found in there right up the street. So none of this makes sense. For them to take all this info that they're giving to the public now and then bottom line it by saying, so we're not sure if it's a homicide or not. That's just a possibility. Why would law enforcement think this isn't a homicide if her body was dismantled? Someone gotta start talking, bro. Somebody gotta at least take him into custody right now. Follow for more updates, hip-hop updates in general, but let me know what you guys think about this. I am like absolutely certain at this point that he is able to cover this murder up, and details that are being put out in the public are completely incriminatory to him. If you guys like music news, music updates, David stuff, give me a follow.
The death certificate for 14-year-old Celeste has now been released, revealing a lot of information. One thing it revealed, she was not pregnant, and nor has she been pregnant in the last year. This was one of the rumors that was going around, was that she was pregnant with David's child. The other thing revealed, and was again said by police yesterday, was they now believe that she was dead in that trunk of the Tesla for weeks. It's also extremely important to point out that David has not been charged in this case. He has not even been named as a suspect. Now, his representatives say that he is 100% cooperating with police, even though officials have not confirmed this yet. So the Tesla registered to David had been sitting on a street in the Hollywood Hills for weeks when it was finally reported. Police went over, ticketed it, and a couple days later, they ended up towing it to a tow yard. And after it was there for a couple days, there was a horrible smell coming from the vehicle. Police arrived, opened the trunk, and they found 14-year-old Celeste. Now, yesterday, police said, we know that the Tesla had been parked at the location from which it was towed for several weeks. So it is very likely Celeste Rivas Hernandez had been dead for several weeks prior to her body being discovered. The Los Angeles County Medical Examiner has not determined a cause or manner of her death, so we don't know for sure if anyone has any criminal culpability for her death beyond the concealment of her dead body. We know a home near where the Tesla had been left was searched. We also know from videos and uploadings from David's account that he was at this location. The landlord has now come out to say that David and his manager were staying in this home and that the two moved out after the home was searched. When it was searched, we know that electronics were taken from the home as well as other items. It's also being rumored that David and Celeste were a couple, were an item. There are lots of people that have come forward to say that they believe Celeste was of age because they were both seen partying in establishments that had an age restriction, and apparently she portrayed herself as being older than she was. She was only 14 years old. Her birthday was one day after they found her in the Tesla. We also know from authorities that Celeste had run away from her Lake Elsinore home in California at least 3 times in 2024, as well as people that knew Celeste said she'd run away even before that. But her last known location is still unknown at this point. A video of an alleged former teacher of Celeste was also recorded talking about Celeste and how she'd run away and had been gone for a while. And when she came back, she told all of her friends that she allegedly was with David and that she had met him on social media. The two of them also shared a matching tattoo on the inside of their fingers that said, shh. But again, that is a common tattoo that a lot of celebrities do have. Something else that people are talking a lot about right now is the Tesla itself. Now, people know that there are a lot of security features on this Tesla as well as a lot of video cameras, and people believe that maybe a lot more was captured on that Tesla than we know. TMZ has now done a whole article on this model of Tesla. It's a 2023 Model Y Tesla, and a lot of people know that this has now moved away from like a key and a fob, and it's gone to an app that you can use with a lot of features. One of the features on this Tesla is that you can actually get a push notification sent to your phone if you leave your trunk open for more than 10 minutes. So people are now wondering if David got a notification that the trunk on his Tesla had been open for a certain length of time the day Celeste was put in it. We know that it's loaded with cameras as well, and people are wondering if either the dash cam or the cameras on the side of the vehicle were activated. And there's also the chance that some security features could have went off on the car if it determined that there was some movement around the car when it was getting towed, etc. No one knows if David had any of these features even set up on his Tesla or if he was even the one that had this app on his phone. But right now, there is just a lot of speculation and people are just wondering what happened to Celeste and if David had any part in it. Officials said that they're looking into the alleged relationship between David and Celeste, but right now the medical examiner holds all the cards. They have to figure out how Celeste died and if it was foul play or perhaps it was something else. We know that David's Tesla was reported and ticketed 11 days before the body of Celeste was located. We also know from pictures the police took of the vehicle when they ticketed it that it was covered in a sheet of dust and looked like it hadn't been touched in weeks. I'm going to continue covering this story, so if you want to stay updated, make sure you hit that follow button.
So David is no longer a suspect, y'all. You can't make this up. Bro really about to get away with this. Well, they say he innocent. I'm just trying to figure out who put Celeste inside of his frontal trunk, his car. I'm not understanding. So they say the cause of her death may have been an accidental overdose. But y'all, I think we dealing with the, you know what that is. So now I feel like the system fell in her. Her parents definitely failed her. It should be an investigation with them in a sense because they allowed this man to date their daughter knowing her age. And like I said before, there's no way he did not know that this girl was a child. It's just, it don't make sense, bro. It's so many questions that gotta be answered. So if he didn't do it, who did it? Was it somebody he knew? It had to have been somebody he knew, right? Because how did she end up in his car? Come on now. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about this down below in the comments.
It has now been confirmed that Celeste was not pregnant. We now have her death certificate and some major updates from police. The death certificate says the manner of death is deferred and pending as the investigation continues. There was an autopsy performed, but the medical examiner is waiting on toxicology results before they release anything. But according to the certificate, Celeste was not pregnant, nor had she been in the last year. We also got some updates from police, and stick with me because they say some major things. They said we know for sure that Celeste died and someone placed her body in the front trunk area of David's Tesla. They said we know the Tesla had been parked at the location from which it was towed for several weeks, so it's very likely that Celeste had been dead for several weeks prior to her body being discovered. But here's where things get weird. They said the medical examiner had not determined the cause or manner of her death, so we don't know for sure if anybody has any criminal culpability for her death beyond the concealment of her body. So they're basically saying that the death could have been natural or self-inflicted before someone else came and put her in the car.
Yeah, so like I said, I mean, I think that this situation just kind of just completely insane how the police have been moving. I think it's really weird that they're not ruling him a suspect. I think it's really weird that he wasn't immediately arrested. I think it's really weird that he's just been like playing Fortnite and just whoop-de-doo, just doing regular things going on, you know, streaming platforms and just doing regular things like this never happened. You know, his music and his recent music and songs that he has made and the songs that he's made literally about Celeste just scream that this guy is super, super guilty. So I think, you know, the whole situation is just truly, truly sad. I'm praying for Celeste and her family. I'm praying that, you know, she can find justice. And I also think that at the very least, he will 100% be convicted for, you know, messing around with her while she was underage, because that's just disgusting, period. So at the very least, he'll be convicted for that. But I just hope that they're able to find some evidence that will tie him to, you know, her unaliving and just truly be able to figure out a way to just find justice for Celeste. So with that being said, make sure you guys drop your comments and anything that you guys have, any updates you guys have on the case below. If you have anything else that you guys would like to talk for me to talk about, you can drop your comments below. And please leave this video a like, please subscribe, takes 2 seconds to subscribe. It takes 2 seconds to like, but it just shows me all the love in the world and helps me push me further in the algorithm. So thank you guys so much for watching, and prayers up for Celeste. This is why I wore black today in honor of her. So I just want to do a little moment of silence for Celeste. And yeah, I will see you guys next time. Bye.